How's everybody doing today? Nice, nice, thank you. We're going to bring out some of our beautiful camels for you guys. Everybody in front has to have a seat, and then parents, just make sure your kids don't walk around or stick hands in during the show. My name is Gil Rigler. I own the Oasis Camel Dairy in Ramona, that's in San Diego County, and we have 21 camels on 34 acres all together. We have the biggest ranch, actually Camel Ranch in California, of all places. And today we're going to go ahead and bring out some of our camels so you guys can see them today. Folks, your people behind you can't see, so just move over a little bit. If you're in the line for the gate, you'll be fine. Or have a seat right over here. I want everybody to be able to see and just relax for the show today. So we're going to go ahead and bring out our first camel. Oasis Camel Dairy has been around for 20 years. You can check us out on cameldairy.com. After the show, you can go and get one of our brochures over there and check our product. Once a month, we open to the public. Over there, you can actually ride a camel, feed them treats, get right up close to the camels. Camels fences here, and you're out there feeding them. And to see today that they're really neat animals. They're super intelligent. If you're going to think about a camel as any other animal, the closest in my mind is a dog. Dogs are a lot like camels. One of the reasons is because camels don't have predators in the wild. There's nothing that eats them. So a camel isn't scared of anything. Now, does anybody have horses here or ridden a horse? You know, yeah, okay, so horses spook. I mean, I have a horse, I love her to death, but she spooks. One time I was riding her, and she actually saw a piece of paper fly by, and she thought there was a death bush on it, but she just took off and ran as fast as she could, because she thought, you know, it's dangerous. But when you're riding camels, that doesn't happen. I was riding that big camel I was kind of playing with in the beginning before the show, Boo Boo. And I'm up about 8 feet in the air when I'm riding him. And I was sitting in front of the hump. And as we were riding, a plastic bag, one of those old plastic bags that we used to get at the markets, wrapped around his foot. Didn't fly out, but hey there, mister. And wrapped around his foot like that. So I thought, oh no, he's going to kill me taking off. And I held onto the saddle, and I got really tight, and I looked down, and Boo Boo felt me tighten up. So he turned all the way backwards, and I'll show you how they can do that. Turned all the way backwards and looked at me like, what's wrong? And then he looked at his foot, and then he went like this. And then we just kept going. Because they don't have predators. They don't think about stuff that's going to eat them. I know, you're a good boy. Now, what are the bad things that we hear that camels are going to do? Spit, exactly. It's only the seated area. That's why I wanted you guys to sit right over here, just to distract them. But actually, if you treat camels well, they never spit. And the secret is, camels never spit on each other. You never see that. And the camel would never go up to another camel and spit at him. Camels save that for people that irritate them for a long period of time. And when that person does that, after a few months, the camel gets fed up, he can't get away from him or kick or bite, so he's going to learn how to spit. Once he learns how to spit, he's pretty proud of it. You know, it's a big accomplishment. So let's say he's at a zoo and it's boring. He's treated well, but it's boring, there's nothing to do, and a kid walks by, the camel will look at the other camels and go, hey, look at this. And he spits, and there's a bunch of fun for 20 minutes because everybody's screaming and shouting, and there's all this hustle and bustle. So they have a weird sense of humor. But besides that, wonderful animals. One of the neatest things about these guys over here, they can go 2 weeks without drinking any water. 2 whole weeks, carrying 600 pounds for 10 hours a day. They'll lose about 25% of their body weight in water. That's like 35 gallons. And then they'll drink it back up again. Parents gonna have? Parents for the kids over here, please. This is a big animal. I don't want him to run around or look at the kids. Thank you. So 35 gallons is like a bathtub full of water. Camel will drink that in 10 minutes and keep going. He won't even stop for a moment. Now, I've seen camels go to an oasis in Egypt 7 years ago, and they were after 2 weeks of not drinking, and they're kind of slim, and they drink that water, and then you can see them fill up, and they look like big balloons. They start walking around, they're slushing around with all that water, and within 20 minutes, that water is absorbed into their bloodstream. Our red blood cells are round. They don't change their shape. Their red blood cells are oblong, like balloons. So when he loses water, his red blood cells smush down but still flow through his system. And when he drinks water, after 20 minutes, his red blood cells fill up again, and he keeps going. Has no problem with that. So that's only one amazing thing about these guys. Here's another thing. They don't like wasting water. They want to conserve water. How are we wasting water kind of right now? It's really hot out. What are our bodies doing? We are sweating, exactly. We are sweating because we have to stay at 98.6. If our body temperature rises to 100 or 101, we're sick. 102, we have to go to the hospital. Well, this guy was 98.6 degrees this morning. Now, he's probably 101 or 102 body temperature. On a hot day, he'll go all the way up to 107 degrees body temperature, and he won't even sweat it. No sweating. At night, he'll exude all this heat, go back to 98.6. There's so many amazing things. You can point at anything about the camel, and I can actually tell you all kinds of amazing things about it. I want to show you the lips. He's been waiting for a cookie. Now, you know, he's 1,400 pounds. He can pull Trisha all over the place if he wanted to, but look how nice he's being. He's just reaching out to me and saying, hey, where's my cookie? I want my cookie now. Now, look at his upper lips. Not only are they tall, they have a long neck, they actually have prehensile lips on top, and he can reach out with that thing right over there, and see how he moves them? He has little fingers in each one. He says, give me the cookie already. Stop talking. So he can actually reach with those prehensile lips way up into a tree, grab a branch with them, like tweezers, pull it down and eat it. That's food that other animals can't get to. Okay, here's your second one. That's it, right there. Good boy. Now, I'm sure you guys have noticed his lower lip when you looked at him. Do you see how droopy his lip is? A lot of people always come up and say, what is wrong with this camel? What is up with that lip? Well, it's genetic. It's just the way that he is right now. See, okay, there's no more treats. See, it's all done. All done. That's it. No more. It's all gone. You see, there's none in my pockets. He's checking my pockets now. He says, I think you have in your pocket. No, there's nothing, you see? And not in my mouth. There you go. Okay, we're all done. So, that big droopy lip, there's a beauty pageant for camels in Saudi Arabia once a year, every February, and the winner gets like $1 million. They love the droopy lip. For them, that is the most beautiful camel. The more droopy, you know, the more beautiful the camel is. This year, they had 5 people that were disqualified from the beauty pageant. Does anybody know why? Did anybody hear about it? They gave them Botox. Can you believe it? I know, and I was like, why would they give a camel Botox? It doesn't make sense to me. Well, they gave them Botox in the lips, and they got a very, very droopy lip, and then the judges found that out and disqualified them. So our camels and our camel products are all natural, no Botox, fellas. No Botox at all. Can you walk him around for a second, Trisha? Look at his feet when he walks around. And you can see that his feet spread out. They have soft gelatinous pads at the bottom of their feet, so when they put their foot down, it spreads out and they can walk on the sand very easily. Also, look at the big pads, because we're going to talk about the pads later on with Samson. He has big knee pads, big elbow pads, and a big chest pad right here. When he lays down, all his weight will be on those 5 pads, and they'll protect them from the hot sand and other stuff. I wanted to show you one more thing. Do you see this there's a little tunnel from his nose in between the lips, and my finger is all wet right now. Whenever he breathes out air that's humid from his lungs, it condensates inside his nose, and that water flows all the way back down into his mouth. That's another way that he conserves. We're going to go ahead and put him back in right now. Let's give Jamal a big hand. He's such a good boy. He really is. Very powerful. Somebody asked me about camels kicking. Do you see his hip over here? He kicks from his hip, so he can kick me all the way back here. A rear kick can break a 4x4. He can cow swipe and just land you right on your butt. He can turn his head from side to side, very agile, and bite you. Camels can lift 300 pounds by their mouth. There was a YouTube video out there, somebody being really nasty to a camel, and the camel was like, leave me alone. The camel grabbed him by the head, lifted him in the air. It's a big man, and tossed him aside. That's how strong they are. But they want to be very sweet. Okay, we're going to talk about milking camels. Milking camels is very different than milking cows. When a cow has her baby, you can pull her away. She doesn't have to see it. She'll give you milk. When a camel has her baby, she has to have her baby right here to ask for the milk. So if we have no baby, there's no milk. So in our dairy, the mother raises her baby naturally for the whole period of lactation. And I'm going to show you what they do. This is this outer cover over here is something that the Bedouins taught me. You put it on the camel, and then that way you don't have to separate them. So before the show, he just waits and I'm tight, and then we can share. Do you see how he's nuzzling the mother right here? Do you see how she turned around and smelled him? She has to make sure this is her baby. She won't give milk to anybody else. So she smelled him again. Now we're going to wait and see if she'll excrete oxytocin, if she'll drop her milk. She has 8 liters up in her udder. 8 whole liters. There's nothing in the teats right now. If I press them, nothing will come out at all. So I'm waiting for her to decide to drop the milk. see the big blinks she has right now? That's also something I learned from the bedwoods in the Sinai Desert. The big blinks mean that she's excreting oxytocin. It's a hormone that goes into the bloodstream, causes muscles to contract, and will push the milk when they udder into the teats. The oxytocin is the same thing with humans as well. Right now, she excreted oxytocin. It's going to go through all the body, bloodstream, till it gets over here, takes a while, and the baby knows. He's just going from one teat to another. There's 4 altogether. He's looking for low-fat, high-fat, chocolate milk, whatever he can find over there. And then in a moment, the teats will go from the size of a thumb to the size of a fist. And then I run it in milk as fast as possible, because camels only give milk for 90 seconds at a time. That's all the time you have. A cow will give you all her milk. She'll give you a little bit of her milk. 10 minutes later, she'll give all the rest of the milk to her baby. And that's how we share in the milk production. So there you go. She dropped her milk. We're going to go ahead and give her some grain, so we'll make it easier for her to give even more milk. It has high protein in it. Do you see how calm she is? That's the nicest thing. Oxytocin is called the happy drug, and when you bring in camels to milk in the moment, they just get euphoric. They get very, very happy. No, you don't have to walk towards the grain. It's coming to you. There you go. Good girl. I'll take right this. That's new. She's never done that before. Okay, so now, just a little bit farther back. This is the milk. Remember, there was nothing here before. Be careful, guys. It might spray you. See that? Right there. So that's how much milk we have at this time. And I'm going to go in here milk really, really quickly in order to get a little bit of milk for you guys. Now remember, I said 90 seconds. That's all I have. And I think my 90 seconds are nearly done. By the way, you guys are the only people in the United States that get to see anything like this. Other places, they actually... Camels won't do this and stand like this. And Orange County Fair wanted us to come and show you. Remember this 90 seconds I was talking about? That's it. That's all I have now. So everybody stay seated, please, so I can show everybody what it looks like. But this is what camel milk looks like. When you look at it, it's very, very white. And I'll have it over by the table later on so everybody can see. It's very, very low in fat, high in vitamin C, vitamin B, vitamin D. It is the closest milk to human mother's milk. There's no other milk that is so close, and it also means that kids with horrible food allergies can drink this milk and do really, really good with it. Tastes like cow's milk, only it's a little sweeter and a little saltier. In California, in order to sell the milk, we have to start a grade A dairy, which will mean a couple $100,000, and we only milk a couple of camels a day. So we don't sell the milk. What we do is educate, and we have our wonderful products. We make lotion and lip balm and soap, and we have camel milk chocolate as well for sale over at our table after the show. I'm going to go ahead and tie this up so we can do one more show with the baby. He's really good. He doesn't even touch this. He just is a great little baby. His name, by the way, is Arjuna, and Arjuna is 6 months old. I actually helped Arjuna come out of his mom. The day she was going to give birth, she stopped eating. She was like moving around a lot. I was down in the pasture when I came back. She was laying down on a mound of sand I gave her, and his little nose was sticking out. I didn't see the feet, so I just sat behind her and just pulled the feet out, pulled them out, and brought them over to her on the other side. And from that moment on, they bonded. For the next hour, they talk to each other. They start humming, like making grunts, and that's how they bond. And they'll always be bonded together, which is really good. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take her and put her back in. And I think we're going to bring out Samson for you guys. Any questions about camels? Now that we're, before we bring Samson out. Off you go. Off you go. Good girl. Off you go. All the way. I got Lily over here because Lily was considered somebody's bad camel. She was biting and kicking all the time. And she's my #1 camel. She's so intelligent and sensitive. She just needed to be in the right place. So we're going to ask her to go back in. In you go, Lily. Come on. In you go. In you go. And if not, we'll just tie her up right over here. She doesn't want to go back in. Like I said, super intelligent. These guys live like 35 years altogether. They're very, very healthy, really nice to work with. Any questions that anybody has right now? We're taking a little break before we bring Samson out. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open. Samson, come here. Samson. Right here. Good boy. He can come all the way out. Samson is a bottle-fed baby. His mom didn't want him for some reason, so I had to bottle feed this guy. And right over here, come over here. For me, he's still a little baby camel. He gets away with everything. I had to give him like 3 big bottles every day. Whenever he's hungry, he'd actually push the screen door and come into the house. And whenever I had a camel in the house, I knew it was time actually to go ahead and get him a bottle. Trisha, can you go ahead and grab me my treats right over there? Thank you. He talks all the time. Every camel is different, and this guy talks all the time. But I want to show you a few neat things about camels that are really nice. Oh, no, the treats go over here. That's a good boy. And he works for treats. He's literally like a dog. You're a good boy, aren't you? Not my hat, not my hat, not my hat, not my hat. You don't have to do that, but he'll do this over and over again. But what I want him to do is kneel down, like lay down on command. Remember what I was talking about, the pads on the camels, and how those 5 pads come into contact with the ground? I'll bring him right over here. I put a lot of straw down for him. Come a little bit closer. One more step. One more step. Good. Okay. Cush, and I'm going to ask him to cush. Cush. All right. You can cush. 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 You're all right. I know Lily's out here, and you might go, I don't want to. There you go. All the way. There you go. Let's give him a big hand. That's Samson to you guys. Remember how I say he had those tweezers, those lips, prehensile lips? I want you to see how high he can stretch his head. So imagine he's out in the desert standing. I mean, look how high. He can lift 300 pounds by this neck, but is totally agile. I'll have him come right over here. Look how much he can reach over. So when I'm milking a camel for the first time and she's standing up and I'm milking her, and then I'll turn around, she'll be nose to nose with me. I'll be nervous. Oh, that's cute. Does anybody have a dog that gets away with everything? Like I have a little Chiweenie. This is my Chiweenie right here. He gets away with everything, but he's super cute. A little bit farther, a little bit farther. That's a good boy. And I'll show you one more thing. I was riding camels in the Sinai Desert, and there was a tourist that was sitting behind the hump, or right over here, and she was yanking on the reins. It was just horrible. And I looked at the Bedouin and I said, is that okay? And he said, just watch. And her camel took his head all the way upside down until she was nose to nose with her and went rawr, like that. And the woman never touched the reins again. So I'm going to see if he can do that. All the way straight back. There you go. Big hand for Samson. Thank you. Now the hardest part is to get him up. Look how he starts looking away. Do you want to get up? No? Come here. Look, there's something really interesting in that hay over there. I have a letter from my girlfriend. Look, 2 cookies. He's still saying no. Oh, okay. So they can count up to 2 for sure. There we go. Let's give Samson a big hand. It's a wonderful boy. There we go. She has the cookies right over there. And I'm going to bring out one more camel. I'm going to go ahead and grab out Belina over here. See how she's waiting by the gate? Because she knows this is her time to come out. So I'm going to grab her next. And if you have any questions about camels, let me know. I can answer them right now. I'm going to grab a little rope for this girl. Come here, Belina. Over here. Belina was also born on our ranch, and she loves being petted. So I'm going to bring her out so everybody can actually pet this girl. Come right here. That's a good girl. All the way. Good girl. Super nice camel. So after the show, check out all our product over here. We have soap. We have some soap and lotion left. We have that chocolate. And check out our brochures. Visit us once a month. We have our open house. It's a lot of fun. Watermelon Days is coming up next weekend, 17th to 19th of August. And you can pet them, feed watermelons to them. It's a lot of fun. I'll bring her over here so everybody can pet her. Thanks so much for coming to our demonstration today, folks. You guys have a great day at the fair. Thank you very much. Come over here and say hello and pet this beautiful camel. In the old days, these were called dromedaries. Now camels, these are dromedaries. A 2-hump camel is a camel from Gobi Desert, the cold weather. So guys, just nod on her face. You can pet her body and her mouth and her neck. There you go.